What's going on, guys? Wi-Fi1225 here, and today we're going to be talking about role-playing in the Elder Scrolls Online. So, before ESO came out, I did a video on role-playing, telling you guys all about what I want to see in role-playing. So, today I just want to talk about how role-playing actually is in Elder Scrolls Online. So, I'm going to go through the good and bad, because there are some really good parts of role-playing Elder Scrolls Online, and some really bad parts. We're going to start with the good and just get into the bad. So, first off, let's talk about the good. The really one thing that I like in Elder Scrolls Online is it puts you in situations where you have to make two distinct choices. Now, quests in Skyrim, you didn't really have a lot of choices. I mean, the Elder Scrolls games are just riddled with choices, but the quests themselves, they didn't have like two alternative endings that you could choose. So I really like how Elder Scrolls Online did that. I like how the decisions aren't, good and bad, obviously. I like how they're like moral gray areas, kind of. And really, when you have to make decisions like that, it helps define your character, and that really does help with role-playing. Now, another thing that I really love about Elder Scrolls Online coming from an Elder Scrolls game is that now I can roleplay with other people other than just alone. It's not really something that is really good about it, because you can do that with pretty much any other MMO, but I do just like being able to roleplay with other people in an Elder Scrolls environment, in Tamriel. I think that's really fun. Next, character customization. This might not be a huge part, but being able to make the character that you envisioned is really important for role-playing. So, just because of that, the character customization is really robust, so I'd say that is a plus for Elder Scrolls Online. The world immersion. More than any other MMO I've played by far, Elder Scrolls Online immerses you in the world. Now, this isn't to say it doesn't have problems. The world feels a little cardboard at times when you can't interact with objects. They are going to try to change that. Other than that, bugs really do take you out of immersion. I'll talk about that later. But things like first person and just the way the world is, built and the way the game is meant to be played, it really does help with immersion, which obviously helps for role playing. Just when you feel like you belong to a world and you're part of a world, that always helps with role playing. And then lastly, we have the emotes. They obviously do help with role-playing. I never know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I always say emotes. I've heard people pronounce it differently. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so having lots of those obviously does help with role-playing. I do those all the time. If I have to get up for 5 minutes, I just, hit/drink. Even sometimes when I'm playing, I'll just do those. Other than that, just kind of lots of books scattered around to read, lots of lore in the world. I love reading lore books. I spent an hour reading books the other day. Fishing is really fun. There's some activities to do besides questing. If you just want to kind of role play while you're fishing, you can do that. So that's pretty much all the good in Elder Scrolls Online. Unfortunately, there are some problems with Elder Scrolls Online in terms of role-playing, and the list of the bad stuff is probably at least as long as the list of good stuff. So the biggest problem by far is that I feel like the role-playing is a little force-fed. So Elder Scrolls games have always given us decision about, how do you want your character to be? Do you want him to be an assassin and part of the Dark Brotherhood? And as much as Skyrim didn't really give you choices in quests, you decided which quests you got, and in terms of how a quest played out, there were some. I remember my favorite side quest in Skyrim, these Red Guards wanted this woman in Windhelm, and you had to go to the cave to help her and confront these Red Guards who were chasing her, and you could either, one, kill them right there, but it was almost impossible because there were so many. Two, you could get her and bring her to them, and those were the two options. But what I thought of is, what if I just bring them to the guy at the meeting point, double cross him, and kill him? And that's what I did. And that was never explained to me. But in Elder Scrolls Online, every option for the end of a quest is this or this. There's no freedom. There's no free thinking. It's this waypoint or this waypoint, and that's something I really don't like. It feels a little force fed to me, and it kind of ruins the whole freedom. This is a choice I'm making sort of feel in the game. Another problem I have is that the dialogue options, there really almost are none. When you get a quest, you can always ask more questions that will explain more backstory, but really in terms of 3 different ways to ask the same thing, almost not there at all. Really pretty much no dialogue options, and that's a problem, because that's part of really any Elder Scrolls game. Being able to talk the way you want to talk to an NPC is definitely important to role-playing. No, it's kind of almost like Guild Wars 2 when your character talked for you. I hated that. And I really don't like how there aren't a lot of dialogue options. That is a big problem I have with the game. Also, I have a problem with the fact that there's no filtering or phasing is a better word for role players. There's no way to just play with role players. Obviously, you could play with your guild, But way they said they were going to do this is that they were going to have a survey, and if you just want to play with role players, you could put that. But that never made it to the game, and I don't know why it didn't. But yeah, so it's really hard to roleplay with people. Almost no one in the chat is wanting to roleplay. They just want to sell stuff. So again, unless you're part of a role-playing guild, it is really hard to roleplay with other people. And lastly, just coming from an Elder Scrolls game, this is nothing bad about Elder Scrolls Online. It's just that sometimes you feel almost punished for role playing because you feel like you're wasting time when you should be getting XP and everyone's leveling past you. That's just something from a personal viewpoint. I know that any MMO is going to have that problem, but that's just from me coming from an Elder Scrolls game. Now lastly, the last problem is that bugs really do take you out of the immersion of the world. I would also like to see them make it so you can pick up more objects around the world, but really just they have to fix those problems and make it so you're more immersed in the world. So basically the things I want them to add, one, phasing for role players, maybe like a survey, they could bring that back. Two, I want them to make it so in the new content there are more dialogue options. I want to be able to pick up items around the world. I want them to get rid of all the bugs. And pretty much just when it comes to options and quests, I don't want it to be force-fed to me. I kind of want to have to discover it on my own and think about it on my own, not give me the two choices. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you liked it. We'll have Elder Scrolls Online Saturday coming this Saturday. We got some cool stuff. We'll talk about all the new patches coming up. They talked about the road ahead, so we'll get all the monthly updates. I'll talk about that, what I want to see, and yeah, it should be fun. So make sure you tune in for Elder Scrolls Online Saturday. If you haven't subscribed and you like the content, please subscribe. And if you like the video, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.